Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 60-Minute Mash.
Cheers, guys. Happy April. Oh, my coaster just fell on my keyboard. Well, there we go. Mr. CJ's Brewing and Barbecue doesn't have a sound. I can hear you in Discord. Well, considering you haven't changed anything since last week, I would put that down to a typical computer problem. They're fantastic while they work, but they're a pain in the ass when they don't. I'll just have to have another swig of my beer, just to fill in some space. Do I have to start singing? Well, what am I going to start with? Aboard the good ship Venus. Hang on. I can't even remember the rest of it. Bugger. Well, I took up my position by the keyhole in the door. The keyhole in the door, my boy, the keyhole in the door. How many older people would understand that one?
I can use
And
this.
then another one.
Can you still hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So now the stream can hear me. Apologies for that technical difficulty. But now I don't think anyone's going to cop a sound effect. Oh, they actually probably will. Okay.
Well, I didn't hear the intro.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I just realised that just now.
Oh, okay. Did you hear that sound effect?
No.
Okay.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 60-Minute Mash.
Woo! Well, I think everyone
We'll just
else...
have to provide our own clapping. How are you
Yeah.
going to do the elevator music, though? That's going to be hard.
Well, you're the only one who can't hear it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right then.
Yeah, okay. Anyway,
If I can't hear it, it didn't happen.
it's actually very annoying.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Anyway, getting back to our pre-programmed channel, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. CJ's Brewing Barbecue, what have you been brewing?
Nothing.
Oh,
I've been enjoying the fruits of my labor. Oh, well, I should say the fruits of the hops I put into this beer. But-
that's your
Tropocalypse.
Tropocalypse.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's a hard one to say. I haven't had that many beers this afternoon, but that's still a hard one to say. Tropocalypse.
You're still struggling. Okay.
Anyway, bugger that. What have I been brewing? Well, I did a I did a fair winds. And look at
Okay.
that. I didn't even open up my Brewfather app so I could go through it. I've been with it
Wait.
through.
Where's the
Yeah.
other one? Where's the? Did you do the wise? The wise?
Yeah, the Hefeweizen I'm kegging tomorrow.
Right. Okay. That's the
Yeah,
one I
I
thought.
don't have,
That's what I
I've
thought.
got no feedback
Okay.
from that.
Okay.
The
So,
only feedback I've got is everybody is stumped as why my gravities did not meet where they should. That's the only thing that's got people stumped.
yes.
But I won't. At the moment, it's sitting at about 2.9%, and it should be over 4. It should be about 4.3, I think.
Right. Okay.
So I won't know. I don't think there's any way it's going to get over 4 if I can get the high 3s. I still can't understand. I might as well bring it up and okay, now you guys can see it. Bring it up, and if I get the right app here, scroll down, you can see pre-boil gravity, supposed to be 134, and I got 123. Post-boil was 143. I mean, this is the most important one. And look at that, 129.
That's way off.
And original gravity is supposed to be 1043. And like the original gravity was 1.029. So the percentage, instead of being 4.3, is going to come out about 2.9 if I get a 1.10 gravity. But I think it's going to be a lower gravity. But even if it comes out at 1.07, they still reckon it's going to be 2.9. But anyway, the purpose of this beer was just to try a Hefeweizen compared with all the other lagers and pale ales and hazies. So it was just a little bit different. But I will be kegging that tomorrow. Very, very easy beer to make. There was like one lot of hops in it.
Yep.
Where's your recipe? There was one lot of hops at 60 minutes, which was here we go. Sorry, guys. Hops, yeah, 10 grams of Citra at 60 minutes. That's all the hops that is in it. I know it's got a hop stand here, but there was nothing in it. It just comes up in the profile.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping the profile is just wrong because I can't understand why everything would be out that far. But anyway.
Yeah, it was a bit off, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, the profile, like with your brewing equipment and everything like that. So.
Yeah, yep.
Bloody annoying. So.
And it's got a few people. It's got a few people stumped too. So.
Yeah, well, the guys at the brew shop, we went through everything. The only thing I haven't asked is Mr. AI. I thought he's just going to go looking everybody else and only come back and tell me what I already know, so I didn't bother.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm drinking my Captain's Choice at the moment. It's a lovely drop. It's a great go-to beer. And just quickly, as I've been through this with you guys before, but just for shits and giggles, you know, it's got Compass in there. It's got 6.2 kilos, 2.5 kilos of Vienna malt, 350 grams of Weyermann, and 150 grams. Now, once again on this, ladies and gentlemen, final gravity. Look here, not pulling the numbers. Pre-boil, 3731. Post-boil, 4337. Original gravity, 4337. And what did I end up? Supposed to be 47. That's what the extra few kilos of grain is, because I thought something was going to happen. 3.8. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, if anybody's got an idea, post a comment and let me know. I'm just a shit brewer, or there is a reason for it. So, yeah, very disappointing. I mean, it's still a nice beer. I mean, it's a nice beer. It's easy to drink. Nice and well carbonated. It's very clear. Like I said, very easy to drink. But that's my whinge and boast about my beers.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
What news have you got for us, Mr. CJ?
news. I don't know. What news do I have? Oh, not a lot of news, but I was thinking, we're getting old, we're getting a little chubby on the front there, and I thought, what?
For yourself?
No,
yourself.
I'm going to speak for both of us. But I thought, what better way to get rid of this beer gut than to try a new sport? So I was racking the interwebs all week, and I thought, there's got to be.
You were whacking what all week?
Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud? I was racking the interwebs all week, and I thought, what?
Oh, racking the interwebs, not whacking the whatever you said.
And I think I found it. I think I found a sport that we could both get our heads around. So I'll just play you a little clip.
Interesting.
Drink or a plain
What's on
old
the
bottle
news?
of water might be the beverage of choice for many athletes, but one Melbourne Run Club is elevating their morning jog by sinking a schooner along the way.
Yeah, for more, we're joined by Aussie Beer Milers Club founder, yes, you heard me, Mel Vanderwater in Melbourne. Mel, good morning to you. Beer and running. I can't decide if this is genius or a recipe
I'm
for
with this
disaster.
guy.
I know what it's like running without a beer.
Yeah.
Hey?
I said, I know what it's like running even without a beer, so with a beer, it's just going to make it heavier. I have foam coming out my ears.
Well, we've been around for a little while now, and we're certainly creating some great relationships between beer and running. We do a number of events, but yeah, this is one of our popular ones right here at this track.
You're in the uber cool Melbourne suburb of Clifton Hill. Once a month you do this brewery run. How does it work?
So the brewery runs, I was just going along and drinking by myself after a run, and I needed some friends to join me.
The way to do it.
So yeah, I started the Aussie Beer Milers Club, and we rolled out our first one with about 10 people. Now we look around 50 to 60. We get full, and we go to all the microbreweries, support the independent breweries around Melbourne.
Now, it is not all fun and games, Mel. We understand that some of your members are actually pretty serious.
Yeah. So we've got some serious runners that compete at world level in terms of marathoning or actually in the beer mile itself. So, I mean, our club's very recreational, but we've certainly got some high performers who can, sink a beer pretty quickly and run around a track in under a minute.
Wait.
Yeah,
They don't do the marathon. They don't do the marathon with the beers, right?
No. So
That'd
the
be nice.
mile essentially is one beer. You run 400 metres, and then you do that 3 more times. So that's the beer mile.
You're burning it off straight away. And tell us more about those track events. We just saw some pretty intense pictures there.
Yeah. So we've run Aussie Beer Mile here on a yearly basis. That's been our main track event that we do, and we get, we do a 100-metre esky dash. So you run with your cooler. Person gets filled with beer if they win that, and then our main race is the beer mile. We have like a number of elites that run that. Nick and Charlie and Josh have all been over to the World Champs, so it's pretty exciting that we can host that here.
Now, Mel, Ali, who sits beside me, former hurdler, just an exceptional athlete. How do you go doing a beer over a hurdle?
Over a hurdle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's some balance that's required there.
That'd be a
Does
risky
beer
one.
help you run faster?
I think there has been a shot,
I want to use it in a
Well,
plastic bottle with a lid on it.
We're actually trying to develop a beer with
So don't
Molly
waste
Rose
any.
that will hopefully make us
when
quicker
I fall over.
for the actual chug part of our beer miling. So watch this space. There should be a beer coming out specifically for you there. So yeah, we'll definitely get you both here to the track and see how you go.
Look, I could maybe margarita and hurdle. I'm just not quite sure about beer and hurdling.
You're the wife of a publican, so surely.
Hey,
I
anything
know,
goes.
he's not happy with me. Thank you so much for joining us, Mel.
I
that
love
is
the
awesome.
initiative. I'm in.
We appreciate it.
Yeah,
Well,
so
I'm in.
Yeah, I thought, you know what, we could get our legs and lips around that sport.
I'm just not sure what it's going to do for our beer guts.
Well, like you heard what he said. We're going to burn it off. We're going to...
I don't know how you're going to burn it off when you got one in your hand to fill it back up again.
No.
Well, maybe it's
better than...
You've just got to run faster.
Well, we can sit here and drink it and not burn it off, or we can drink and burn it off.
Well, at least it looks like we're doing something.
It does. Anyway, I thought that was worth pointing out there.
That is just bizarre. Speaking of bizarre, if we're going, where are we? I've got something that's a little bit bizarre.
Oh.
I've got a couple of things to talk about tonight. So,
all right.
I'm just going to do, first off, I'll do my bizarre one for the night, which is, where are we? Here we go. This is, I'm just going to... Oh, I don't need to open it just yet. I've got it open.
You can't hear the elevator music.
Hey?
Oh,
yeah, sorry. I was looking at how to open it when I've already got it opened. I just need to go in and... Sorry, not with it. Share. Righto. Here we go. This is... I found this quite interesting. Goes for a couple of minutes, but...
Foods around the world. In this video, we're going to explore the world of the strangest and most unusual foods. From fried tarantulas in Cambodia to tuna eyes in Japan, you'll be surprised by the varieties of exotic foods that people consume in different parts of the world. Join us on this culinary journey and discover the most unusual and even shocking foods that exist around the world. Be prepared to be amazed and, who knows, maybe even try some of them.
Very AI.
Tuna eyes. Tuna is a popular fish in Japan. So popular that even the eyeballs are used and sold in fish markets. These can be cooked, seasoned with a little garlic or soy sauce and lemon. From this, you have a small and tasty snack. The taste is similar to that of octopus. Fried tarantula in Cambodia. Want to overcome your fear of spiders? How about eating them for lunch? Tarantulas were introduced as a food during the communist regime in the country in the 1970s, when people were starving and had nothing else to eat. The dish became very popular in Cambodia. They say it tastes like crab. Ant egg soup, Laos. In Laos, you can order a soup made with ant eggs and an embryo. It must be quite sour. After finding out this, are you still hungry? Jellied moose nose, Canada. In Canada, they cook the moose nose with some onions and herbs and remove the hair and then cook again. It's a pretty exotic dish, don't you think? Cheese eaten by larvae, Italy. In Italy, there is a cheese known as spoiled cheese. It's Italian pecorino cheese, made with sheep's milk, which is used. And it has to be moldy. Very moldy. If that wasn't enough, they leave the cheese in a dark room for months so that flies can lay eggs and the larvae can burrow around the cheese and leave feces. It's not exactly an easy cheese to find, as the European Union has banned it due to health risks of eating it. Century eggs, China. In China, eggs are covered with clay, ashes and salt and left to rest for several months to get the right flavor. After a while, the yolk turns completely green and the smell is, well, interesting. Corn smut, Mexico. Since ancient times, Mexicans have enjoyed a type of fungus that makes corn grow in white and black tumors. They say it has a sweet and smoky flavor. This fungus grows in hot countries like Mexico and can be seen as crop damage in most other countries. Fermented and dried shark, Iceland. In Iceland, this dish is considered a delicacy. Shark meat is toxic and can cause the same effect as drinking alcohol, unless the poison is removed first. Squid tentacles, South Korea. The Korean dish is made by cutting a squid into several parts and serving it raw. The method is widely debated, but it is still very common in the country. The squid is served while still slightly alive, and if you don't chew well, the tentacles can get stuck in your throat and choke you to death. This is the cause of death for about 6 Koreans per year. Guinea pig, Peru. It may seem strange to eat guinea pigs, but in Peru it has been common for over 5,000 years. They serve it roasted or fried. The taste is similar to chicken or duck meat.
There you go. That was just coincidental as to bizarre.
Yeah.
But
yes, very bizarre.
But the other one I brought up, I was just looking around this afternoon. There's one there I put there earlier. I think you're familiar with brewlosophy.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't got it up there, so I'll have to bring it up. That's all right. Sorry. It's not happening. It's just not happening for me.
Not happening.
So I'll bring it up separately. Now, what this is about is they're saying, or the conversation is, rather, from Brewlosophy, is that hazy IPAs are hurting the craft beer industry.
That's funny, considering I think I've seen him make at least 10 different variations.
Yeah, well, it is quite interesting.
Burst onto the scene in the early 2000s with beers like Heady Topper and has since dominated tap rooms everywhere. Now, this juicy, soft and hazy style keeps growing in popularity, yet Google Trends suggest that as hazy IPA interest rises, overall craft beer interest declines. Now, correlation doesn't mean causation, so I'm posing a question to members of the Brew Club, Brewlosophy contributors, and some other familiar faces. Is hazy IPA helping or hurting craft beer? Let's find out. This episode is sponsored by Delta Brewing Systems. More on them in a bit.
Are hazy IPAs helping or hurting craft beer industry? Well, let's put it to you this way. Is Taylor Swift helping or hurting football? There you go. Got your answer right there.
Wait, what? So, how do you feel about hazy IPA?
It's trash.
Well, we put this conundrum to members of the Brew Club.
Okay, so the question is, have hazies ruined the industry? I mean,
like going through all this, they tend to agree with us that hazies have actually brought more people to craft beer.
It's a market structure, so if they're selling, then that's good. What do you guys think?
All right, let's get into it, starting with some voices from the pro-hazy camp.
So I really think that hazy IPAs.
Oh, I like this guy. You watch this guy's channel?
Market, at least in Germany, they do.
No,
because I think
good,
they get people into the world of super hoppy beers like IPAs and double IPAs, but without being super bitter. Because actually, people don't like it here too much when beers are super bitter, and that's why also the style of Helles is just on the way to the top, and I think even surpassed Pilsner, because it's just way more easy to drink than a very hoppy and bitter Pils. I think the same applies for hazy IPAs because they are just super easy accessible, and I think also for a non-craft beer drinker, you can just hand them one, and I think most of the times you will end up, or they will end up drinking it because it's super fruity, super tropical, very juicy, and not bitter at all.
Hazy IPAs are like the rock stars of craft beer. They're exciting, they're flashy, and they can be a little bit polarizing. On one hand, they've lured in a fresh crowd with their juicy tropical flavors, and they make craft beer the cool kid at the beverage table. But on the other hand, their takeovers kind of made tap lists a little bit boring, leaving fans of other styles feeling kind of ghosted. But here's the big problem. Not all haze is created equal. Lots of brewers, I find, are cutting corners. They're turning out these murky pints that taste a little bit more like marketing than mastery. Making hazy IPAs is easy. Making them great is exceedingly difficult.
Yeah, I agree.
Craft beer is losing ground to all other beverages, though. So love them or hate them, hazy IPAs have shaken up the scene. And I think that a rising tide lifts all ships. If we're not careful, the craft beer world might lose its best feature, variety. But make no mistake, I freaking love hazy IPAs.
Without hazies, we would not be where we are with craft beer today. It helped proliferate breweries beyond expectations, I think, of most people. I know my husband, who's never a big beer fan, fell in love with hazies when we went to Sloop for the first time in their original location like 10 years ago. So yeah, I think hazies are always going to need to be around, but instead of seeing 10 of them on tap or all of them on tap, I think you're going to see them go
tap lines. And when I go to my local bottle shop, I find that like hazy IPAs in general dominate the cooler section. I mean, there's just so many more IPAs and hazy IPAs in the cooler then you find lagers, then you find saisons, goes. For me personally, since I like that style of beer so much, I'm thrilled that virtually every brewery makes that style of beer. From a strictly beer taster, beer enjoyer, beer enthusiast standpoint, you really can't brew too many as far as I'm concerned.
Now, as a YouTuber, I'm supposed to encourage engagement with this video by asking you to leave a comment below. But for my benefit, rather than the algorithm, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Is the ubiquity of hazy IPA really contributing to craft beer's decline in your mind? And
that'll do. Yeah. So, but it's an interesting topic. But as the majority of those people that just we just watched, they all love the hazies. I don't see how it can be sending everything into a, like the other beers, into a decline. I think it opens up people's palates.
Yeah, I think it's
to different styles of beer.
I think it's a stupid topic. I think, you know, there's going to be people who like certain styles of beer and people who don't like certain styles of beer. To platform it, like, is it ruining a hobby? Well, that's just a stupid question.
No, it's just, is it hurting the craft beer industry?
I mean, he had these two stats, but it could have been anything. I mean, the stats, was that coming out of COVID? Because I know the stats went up before COVID. Was that just leveling out?
Yeah.
And because something got popular at the same time, people could go to bars and not make beer anymore. Like, that was stupid.
Well, even if you look, I was just doing a little bit of research earlier on. There's more and more people actually producing like home brew, not craft, but home brew beer, which I would call my home brew a craft beer because it tastes exactly the same. It's made exactly the same way with grain and hops and yeast. But there are more and more people getting into home brewing with the statistics on purchases here and there.
Yep.
Look out, he's getting straight into the...
Well, it's not straight into it. We're halfway through the episode. We need to spin for that beer.
Yeah.
And
I'm nearly finished. Huh?
I've almost finished. And new beer also means toilet break, which I'm also equally excited for. So, are you ready to spin that wheel?
Spin that wheel.
I did this last time. There we go.
Wheel of Fortune.
Can't be worse than last week's Betty Ray's bullshit. Oh, the Traveller.
Yeah, that was good. Traveller. All right. Let's go and find Traveller.
Let's go and find Traveller. And, all right. Well, on that note, we're going to go over Traveller, and we'll be right back after this short break. Again, I'm the first one back, so let me take this opportunity to try and find some information on this beer. There is a website. Let's drum it up. The traveller.com.au. We'll screen share it there so you lovely folks at home can see it. Here we go. No, we're not signing up. We just want to find the Traveller Australian Lager. We full strength, ultra low carb, 3.5. No, okay, so we're on the mid strength. Meet your new favourite lager, brewed using all Australian ingredients. The flavour profile is that of a clean, crisp lager with a mild fruitiness and a smooth bitterness, which will keep you coming back for more. Okay. Be the judge of that. I'll do the crack test because we can't hear yours.
Yeah, because mine doesn't work.
Oh, that was a soft crack. Don't mind a soft crack, but
I wasn't going there.
One of us had to. Well, it's very clear.
Yeah, it's well carbonated.
Is it a small can? 375, okay.
It's normal, yeah.
I thought 375 was filling up this glass, but not quite.
Oh, it's very clear.
Very, very clear.
I can't see it so much on mine, but yeah. Has a bit of a sweet smell for a lager. What did you say it was? A lager.
Yeah, an Aussie lager. All right, let's have a sip. Let's have a sip discussion, and then we'll look at the tasting notes.
Oh, that's pretty light on. You did say it was a mid-strength, though.
I don't know where they're getting this fruitiness from.
Oh, I get a little bit of fruitiness. Not a huge amount, but remember what you're drinking and you're comparing it to. Or what you have been drinking.
Pours golden honey in colour. Yes, I agree with that. With a light body and subtle, smooth bitterness. With a crisp, refreshing finish.
I get the crisp, refreshing finish. I don't actually get any bitterness.
It's very dry. I don't get any bitterness. No. 89 calories. That's good. You know, pair that with our new sport, we'll be losing weight in no time.
So this is the beer to drink when we're jogging?
I think so. You wouldn't want anything heavier.
There you go. Traveller. Well, it even says traveller. We're travelling when we're running.
I'll drink to that. Brewed with Australian pale malt. A signature lager yeast and a blend of cluster and Melba hops. Okay.
Well, I've never tried any of those, so I can't sort of say, but...
Australian pale malt. Have we used that in anything before?
Well, it's brewed with Australian pale malt. Like, is that Australian? Like, the malt that I use is Australian, but...
Oh, I thought most of ours came from New Zealand, to be honest.
No, I use the Voyager, which is produced just up the road, inland from us in Maitland. It's just inland, and the Voyager malts.
Anyway, the people have spoken. Ultra low carb Australian lager. Yeah, okay.
Don't mind it at all.
Very dry. It is dry. But I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just something I'm saying about the beer. I'll drink it. I'll drink a shitload of them, actually.
Yeah, I would.
I could take that. I could take that camping and drink that all weekend, to be honest.
Well, being mid-strength, Actually, yeah, I like it.
I'm still not.
Did it say how much was a carton?
I'm still not getting the fruitiness.
Oh, I get a little bit on the front end. I don't, and a little bit of a smell initially, but it could be just me. Be interesting to see the price being a lager and not like a.
There you go.
18.9 mid strength, 18.99. That must be for a 6-pack.
What are you looking at?
What you've got up on screen?
That's 6-pack, $16.95, or 24 for 58.
Oh, I've just got the Australian lager mid strength, 18.99. Meet your new favourite lager.
Oh, sorry. Let me fix that up for you.
I was going to say, just what you were talking about just popped up on the screen.
There you go. This is it. My mate Dan's.
So $58.
Yeah.
Still up there price wise, but I mean that'd be what you'd expect. Because didn't we just have a price rise not long ago?
We're always getting price rises.
Yeah.
Speaking of price rises, have I got a story for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's check this new development out, which is disgusting. After we just got handed a no tax fucking bonus from our government, now we're getting bent over from other governments. All right, let's just watch this crap.
Oh, another tariff story.
And tonight, the escalating trade war is making a dent in prices for your local craft beer.
At Minneapolis's Fulton Brewing.
Our neighborhood's
I thought this was Australian.
Tariff talk.
Anyway.
A common topic amongst the tables.
Is coming to a head.
It's really difficult.
For co-founder Jim Diley,
well,
the
it just
events
means
of the
when they
last few
import
weeks have had a
Australian beer,
chilling
this is what they
effect.
got to
And it
cost.
is really that
It'll be
dynamic
the same
interplay
here.
between unknowns of cost.
Well, we've got 10%
unknowns
tariffs
of
now.
how products will be available or
Across the
not.
board.
Like many others caught in this brewing trade war.
All of these are in aluminum cans, and so this is.
Yeah, I think aluminum was the big one. But do we import a lot from America for beer? I'd have to look that up.
Well, I think we would import a lot of stuff, but this particular one is referring to the aluminium cans.
Well, he's mentioned that to start off with, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we're a huge importer of the aluminium. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'd seen that in other industries as well. And it's just the uncertainty. So, people can't even... I've heard stories of builders, they can't even quote jobs now. Well, they had to put a date on the job because...
the material.
A date on the quote because things are just, up in the air at the moment. Like they can't actually lock in a price to anything because no one actually knows. I think that's the same what's going to happen here with, for example, the aluminum.
You
exactly
American
what those
dude.
tariffs impact for us on a day-to-day basis.
Diley estimates that up to 60% of their product is reliant on aluminum, and finding other options.
The reality is there really isn't a good option. To say, oh, I guess I'll just use a bottling line today and not a canning line is really a few $1 million and a year or two in advance planning. So unfortunately, when tariffs are imposed quickly as they have been, business owners just can't react.
And that is not the only problem.
Right now, we actually have a shipment of, it's a clarifying agent made from mushrooms, and
Damn, what's in your beer, bro? I need some of that mushroom beer. Let's look at that.
comes from a Canadian company, but literally because of the tariff, the Customs and Border Patrol don't know if they should ship it through, if they should ship it back, if they should put a tariff on it. And so now we're stuck having a product that we use all the time that we can't source.
Frustration brewing.
I mean, beer shouldn't be a luxury good. It might have to at times be a little more expensive, but for the foreseeable future, we'll keep delivering great beer, and people should continue having a great time.
You're welcome. Cheers, guys.
And tonight, the escalating trade war is making a dent in prices for your local.
Yeah, anyway. So, I mean, we've got all that to look forward to in the next coming months. Yeah,
it's probably, I suppose it's lucky that because we, very rarely we buy beer because we're making our own. We're lucky because we're using Australian ingredients.
Mm.
And one of the biggest things is, like one of the suppliers that we use for ingredients as well as hardware, being Kegland, well, they're actually native to Australia. They're the ones that are going to suffer selling overseas or to America particularly, because the tariffs, they're going to have to add, like this, adding 10% to the tariffs. So it's the exporting that they do is going to affect them. So whether they put prices up locally to cover the costs, it's going to be interesting as well.
Yeah, and so let's say Kegland imports from other countries, and then the tariffs that the US have imposed on those companies, they've got to offset their losses somewhere. So that also will reflect on the price of what Kegland pays, and then they pass it on to the consumer. It's a very, very big domino effect that will happen.
Yeah. So even though Kegland is Australian,
well, their warehouses in Australia, yeah.
No, the manufacturing is I say their manufacturing's in Australia, but I could be wrong. Because what I was about to say is any materials that they import from it's only the US we're referring to, and I think most of it's coming from China anyway. And if any manufacturing's done, it's done in China. So it's only when they're exporting the end result product to the US, which they'd have to have a huge market in the US. That's when their prices go up for resale. At least 10%.
Yeah, to the American consumer. Yeah.
Yeah. But if the American consumer stops, say they decrease sales by 10%, how does Kegland
cover their costs?
Kegland react? Do they put the dollars up this side of the fence, or they just work with less product going externally and just drop their manufacturing side of things?
Well, the board wouldn't be happy with that. So yes, the prices for us are going to go up, because if there's no growth in the company, then what's the point?
Yeah, that's right. That's what I mean. How are they going to react? Decrease manufacturing, which is not what we need in Australia. We want more manufacturing in Australia, more exporting. But I'd say America would be a large chunk of Kegland. I mean, Europe is a large chunk of Kegland as well, watching some YouTube channels, but the US would have to be pretty bloody big.
Yeah. That is true. So that is true. All right, let's get off this boring ass depressing subject.
Yeah,
and
I've been listening to it all week.
Boat fail of the week. And it's not actually a boat fail of the week. It's a compilation. It's a 40-minute compilation, but I'm not going to sit you through all that. I'm going to give you the first minute, and this will be the next 40 minutes. How many episodes is that? That's like 400 episodes, if my math's right.
Watch as idiot boat owners turn a simple launch into a full-blown disaster. Forgetting the parking brake at the boat ramp led to a moment of unintended comedy, especially when the auto wipers suddenly kicked in.
Uh-oh.
This unconventional boat launching leaves little doubt. The car is nearly bogged down on wet sand, teetering on write-off status.
Towball on the front.
Instead of launching it, they're practically abandoning the boat. That propeller definitely needs a replacement.
No way. Surely he could feel that as he's reversing back.
Sail or fail?
Oh, this is close
This
to your.
boat chose the second.
This is close to home for you. Oh my gosh!
No way. Oh,
All right,
that's
well,
devastating.
there you go. There's a minute of boat fails. That poor yacht. That poor yacht.
I know.
The trail.
I remember when I had my I don't know if you remember when I had my FZ 750 motorbike. I come out the back one day and it's lying on the ground and it's like my heart just sunk. Well, that's what it's like when you see that yacht fall over like that. It's like, oh no. It's just, that's not supposed to happen.
No.
I wonder how that happened. Maybe they've untied it from the front and it's just flipped over, like fallen, because it looks like it started tilting backwards.
Well, I thought the mast must have clipped a line at the top and just.
Oh, well, it could have. I just wondered why it went backwards, and I just thought, oh, maybe they untied it too early. But you could be right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. It must have been untied for it to fall off that bloody easily.
So,
I'll tell you what.
all right, well,
I'm feeling another toilet break coming on.
all right, well, you do your toilet break. Leave us going live because I just got some stuff I was going to randomly talk about.
Well, I'll throw the screen share up and I'll be back in a 2 shakes.
Well, I better put a screen share up. Cancel. Present. Rightio. So I had an interesting thought this afternoon. Like, how were they brewing beer back in? Well, I just did a search for ancient brewing, ancient beer brewing, I think was my search. And this is what I came back with. There's a few books out there, beer making. This particularly one revolves around Egypt. Beers and alcoholics, blah, blah, blah. Brewers. I lost my spot. How bad's that? That's terrible, Paul. Beer making. So this here is a container that they call beer jars. Well, this is a dude that's making it's an Egyptian beer. It all started in mid-August 2011. Oh, this is terrible. I had it all lined up earlier. No, my apologies. So what I'm going to do is switch over to this dude. He actually made like a 3,000-year-old Egyptian beer. So
lives in Salt Lake City, Utah. He's a curious guy, an amateur brewer, and has a master's degree in Middle Eastern studies.
Ooh.
And it's possible that with the help of a few collaborators, Dylan has made something that no other human has made for hundreds of years. During the pandemic, he heard about a loaf of sourdough bread baked with yeast that's a descendant of a 4,500-year-old Egyptian strain.
And I was like, I wonder if I could do this with beer. And so I just started researching about yeast, and I was like, what's the oldest strain of yeast there is?
So he set out to work, and he found Primer's Heritage Yeast, an Israeli company that has isolated yeast cultures from ceramic pottery found from the ancient site of Gath.
The company of these Israeli scientists that brewed this beer with modern ingredients. They used this ancient yeast with modern ingredients.
But Dylan wanted to take it a step further.
I'm doing ancient yeast with ancient ingredients and an ancient recipe.
This means that Dylan is creating a truly unique beer to our time. But where do you get a recipe for a 3,000-year-old beer?
Ebers Papyrus. It has like 800 recipes, and some of them are really weird. Some of them are like, add the liver of a dog, and so I isolated all those recipes, and there's about 75 of those, and I took the top 10 ingredients. It told the amounts and the types of ingredients to be used, which is rare, right? So I knew exactly how to brew this.
So Dylan created a recipe using the ingredients that were mentioned the most.
Yemeni cedar honey, black cumin, juniper berries, Israeli golden raisins, carob fruit, Egyptian balsam fruit, the highest quality frankincense that I could get.
Even rare figs found only in Egypt. And so he began the process of making a beer from a strain of yeast 3,000 years old in his backyard. Part science, part creative act, Dylan painstakingly documented the process so that others could build on his work.
Luckily, that is grown here in Utah. Upon cooling, I added the Yemeni honey. This is probably the most important part. Oscar-worthy, no. Let's see what this turns out to look like. My goal for this was to create a beer that others would be able to build upon in the future. You're never going to be able to brew the exact same beer as they had 3,000 years ago. But my hope is that I could get us one step closer. It smells like a sour. It definitely smells like a sour beer.
I bet it's sour. Look at the shit he put in it.
Yeah. That's not bad, actually. I'd buy that from the store.
Liar.
I wouldn't pay this much to make it again. In the middle of me brewing, I remember looking up at the sun and just going, 3,000 years ago, somebody else was doing this. Like, that's so cool. Connection that you have, that you want to give people this human experience and let them feel like they are a part of the past. And I feel like that's something that you can get with this.
Wow, that's crazy, man. That's good. Thanks for sharing that video.
Yeah, no, that was. The other bit I was doing while you went for a pee break, I've just lost my whole spot, but it was just explaining basically some of the quantities and products that they used in the grain, but I've just lost my spot, and it's like a whole heap of text and everything, so I won't get back there again. But anyway, we're probably getting ready to wrap it up, so I should finish off with my barbecue fails.
I hate these, but yes, I love it at the same time. Because it chews out the
How not to barbecue.
Now, are these filmed on a potato, or are these... Last week's were pretty rough, man. I'm not going to lie. It was kind
You
of...
mean visual quality?
Yeah.
Well, from what I've looked at, they are a little bit better.
They're like from the archives. How many years ago was this uploaded? 5. Okay.
Geez, now you're getting bloody technical.
Yeah, ready? No.
Quality's much better.
Much better.
The King Grillster is about to flip his first patty. Oh my God.
The Corcoran's did the Traeger.
Ooh,
damn.
not the Traeger.
Oh my gosh.
Before.
That was petrol. You're gonna eat.
Okay,
You're gonna eat that food.
We're gonna have it on video.
Holy dooly.
Well, that first batch might be done for.
Those patties are ready to take off.
That's how you cook a good patty. Eyebrows. Oh yeah, no. Time to order some KFC.
Look at the baby birds, kids. Babies.
Damn, they should have started cooking them.
I don't have chicken
eggs.
That's why you don't put water in oil fire.
Yeah, what an idiot.
They do?
No, there's ropes. They forgot to take the ropes off it. So all the ropes are on fire.
Sides of it came off. Oh my God!
That was not the right fire extinguisher.
It's the fire extinguisher. I told him that. It just exploded.
There's supposed to be chicken in there.
I gotta call Joyce and have her pick something up for dinner now.
I think our ribs burn a little. Oh. It's on fire.
All right.
I got it.
Oh.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Hot damn. Oh, I do hate to see it, but it's funny as hell.
It is. It is.
Cool. All right, that wraps it up. Another successful episode of the 60-Minute Mash. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye now.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye now. Bye. Bye. Bye-bye.
How many times are we doing it?
Bye. Take care.